Do you remember 1986? Back then, MTV was playing in every living room, and thrash metal was gaining momentum, becoming the voice of a generation. Looking back, it truly was an amazing year, one that gave us some of the most iconic heavy metal albums of all times. Today on Metal Icons, we return to that golden era, as we count down our top 10 greatest heavy metal albums of 1986. Kicking off our list at number 10 is a bold turn from one of metal's founding giants. When Judas Priest entered Compass Point Studios in Nassau in 1985, they were looking to evolve. Produced by Tom Allom, Turbo was recorded over several months as the band experimented with guitar synthesizers and a more modern, polished sound. Released on April 14, 1986, the album delivered 9 tracks that shocked some fans but electrified others. At the heart of Turbo were songs like Turbo Lover, Locked In, and Out in the Cold, tracks that blended classic Priest power with sleek 80s energy. The record climbed to number 17 on the Billboard 200, and eventually went platinum in the United States. Fans who embraced it found a new dimension to Judas Priest, one that felt bigger, flashier, and more cinematic. While some critics were divided at the time, the album has gained strong nostalgic respect over the decades. It represents the moment when Judas Priest aimed for arena-level spectacle, pushing heavy metal toward a more mainstream horizon. And today, Turbo stands as a reminder that even legends take risks. And sometimes, those risks become part of their lasting legacy. Sliding into number 9 is the explosive debut that marked the arrival of one of thrash metal's most underrated forces. Flotsam and Jetsam entered Music America Studios in May of 1986, with producer Brian Slagel, spending several intense weeks crafting a record that balanced speed, storytelling, and technical skills. Released on July 4, 1986, the album featured 9 tracks, each one fierce, sharp, and ambitious. Songs like Hammerhead and Iron Tears became instant underground classics. The star of the record was a young bassist named Jason Newsted, whose writing and playing powered the band's sound and would later catch the attention of Metallica. When Doomsday for the Deceiver was released, fans and critics alike were stunned. The album famously received a 6K review from Kerrang, a score beyond their standard 5K maximum. It didn't chart high due to limited distribution, but it sold strongly in the underground and became a cult favorite. Its legacy only grew after Jason Newsted left to join Metallica. Today, the album is remembered as one of the greatest debut thrash records of all time. A furious, passionate, unstoppable introduction to a band that deserved far more recognition than they received. Charging forward with pure aggression, Kreator's Pleasure to Kill took the underground by storm. The German trio entered Music Lab Studios in Berlin during early 1986, working with producer Harris Johns to perfect a sound that was faster, harsher, and more violent than anything they had attempted before. Recorded over a compact, high-pressure period, this album captured the raw spirit of early extreme metal. Released on November 1, 1986, it featured 9 relentless tracks. Songs such as Ripping Corpse, The Pestilence, and the iconic title track set new benchmarks for brutality. The vocals were sharper, the riffs more savage, and the drumming felt like a barrage of artillery. This wasn't just thrash, it was the blueprint for what would become death metal. While Pleasure to Kill didn't chart internationally at the time, it grew fast in the tape trading scene, spreading across Europe, South America, and North America. Fans responded with devotion, drawn to its intensity and uncompromising spirit. Critics recognized its raw power and praised its influence on the rapidly growing extreme metal movement. In the decades since, the album has earned a legendary reputation. It inspired countless bands, shaped future genres, and helped establish Kreator as one of the key founders of German thrash. Pleasure to Kill remains a monument to speed, aggression, and the fearless evolution of metal in the 1980s, therefore taking our number 8 spot on the list. Fast forward to number 7. Dropping like a hammer from the California underground, Darkness Descends marked a turning point in American thrash metal. Dark Angel stepped into Track Record Studios in North Hollywood in early 1986, working under producer Steve Sinclair. Their goal was simple: make the fastest, most intense album they could possibly achieve. Darkness Descends pushed every member to the limit. Released on November 17, 1986, the album delivered 7 devastating tracks. The Burning of Sodom, Merciless Death, and Darkness Descends became fan favorites. Gene Hoglan's drumming alone set a new standard for power and precision, earning him a legendary reputation. The album didn't chart commercially, but fans in the underground scene embraced it instantly, and word spread quickly through magazines, record stores, and tape traders. Critics recognized it as one of the heaviest thrash albums ever made. Over the years, Darkness Descends grew from cult classic to essential masterpiece. Its influence reached into death metal, black metal, and modern thrash revival bands. It stands as Dark Angel's defining moment, a record that captured raw, unstoppable energy and assured their place in heavy metal history. Gliding into number 6, we have King Diamond's Fatal Portrait. This album brought theatrical storytelling and haunting atmosphere into the spotlight. After leaving Merciful Fate, King Diamond began recording in July 1985 at Easy Sound Studios, and later at Soundtrack Studio in Copenhagen. Produced by King Diamond himself, along with Rune Hoyer, the sessions stretched over several months as they built a sound filled with eerie melodies and dramatic vocals. Released on February 17, 1986, the album delivered 9 songs. Tracks like The Candle, Halloween, and Dressed in White showcased King Diamond's unmistakable voice and his gift for horror-driven narratives. Fatal Portrait reached number 33 on the Swedish charts and performed well across Europe. Its sales grew steadily as word spread about King Diamond's unique style. The album laid the foundation for his future concept records and introduced a new level of theatricality into heavy metal. Fatal Portrait helped shape the direction of European metal, influenced a generation of musicians, and proved that heavy metal could be dark, dramatic, and artistically ambitious. Today, it remains a striking debut from one of the genre's most distinctive voices. The 5th place in our countdown belongs to the Prince of Darkness. Ozzy Osbourne returned with renewed fire on The Ultimate Sin. Throughout 1985, Ozzy recorded the album at Ridge Farm Studios in England with producer Ron Nevison. Released on February 22, 1986, the album delivered 9 hard-hitting tracks, powered by Jake E. Lee's sharp guitar work and Ozzy's unmistakable voice. Shot in the Dark, The Ultimate Sin, and Secret Loser stood out immediately. This album was Ozzy stepping back into the spotlight. Shot in the Dark became one of Ozzy's biggest hits and climbing charts around the world. The album reached number 6 on the Billboard 200 and eventually went platinum in the United States. Fans embraced it, while critics were mixed. But over time, The Ultimate Sin gained a strong nostalgic value and is remembered as a snapshot of mid-80s metal glamour mixed with Ozzy's darker edge. Its legacy lives through the unforgettable imagery, the massive tour, and as Jakey Lee's final appearance on an Ozzy studio album. Earning the number 4 spot and blasting into the future with power and confidence, Iron Maiden pushed themselves into bold new territory with Somewhere in Time. From May to July 1986, the band recorded at Compass Point Studios in the Bahamas and later at Wisseloord Studios in the Netherlands, guided once again by producer Martin Birch. These sessions marked a shift. For the first time, Maiden embraced guitar synthesizers, adding futuristic textures to their signature galloping sound. Released on September 29, 1986, the album delivered 8 incredible tracks. Wasted Years, Stranger in a Strange Land, and Caught Somewhere in Time were fan favorites. The record climbed to number 3 on the UK Albums Chart and hit number 11 on the Billboard 200. It became one of the band's biggest sellers of the decade, earning multi-platinum status worldwide. Fans were thrilled by the album's futuristic style, turning the Somewhere on Tour into one of Maiden's most successful global treks. Over the years, the album's reputation only grew stronger. Its artwork, sound, and themes became iconic, influencing countless bands who admired Maiden's ability to push boundaries without losing their identity. Somewhere in Time remains a shining example of heavy metal ambition, bold, melodic, and timeless. Storming into the top 3, Megadeth unleashed a sharp and politically charged masterpiece with Peace Sells But Who's Buying? Recorded at multiple studios between March and June 1986, the album was shaped by producer Randy Burns and later mixed by Paul Lanny. Released on September 19, 1986, it contained 8 explosive tracks that defined Megadeth's sound. Peace Sells, Wake Up Dead, Devil's Island, and The Conjuring became signature songs, mixing technical riffs with a razor-edged attitude. Dave Mustaine's vision was clearer than ever, and the band performed with a greater precision. The record landed at number 76 on the Billboard 200. Eventually, the album went platinum and became one of the defining pillars of thrash metal. Fans immediately recognized its intensity and sharp commentary, while critics praised its musicianship and songwriting. The song Peace Sells became a cultural force. It was also featured on MTV as a news theme, and eventually becoming one of the most recognizable metal songs ever written. The album's legacy is massive. It solidified Megadeth as one of the Big Four, and influenced generations of bands who followed their path. Peace Sells But Who's Buying remains a bold statement of rebellion and technical brilliance. Reigning at number 2, we have none other than Slayer. With Rain in Blood, the band delivered a shockwave to the metal world. The album was recorded in Los Angeles under the guidance of producer Rick Rubin and legendary engineer Andy Wallace. Without sacrificing their speed or aggression, Rubin pushed Slayer toward a cleaner and sharper sound. Released on October 7, 1986, the album contained 10 blistering tracks in just under 30 minutes. Angel of Death and Raining Blood became instant classics and fan favorites. Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King wrote riffs that were fast, razor-sharp, and completely unrelenting. Dave Lombardo recorded a memorable performance, with some of the fastest and precise drumming ever recorded at the time. The album peaked at number 94 on the Billboard 200. but sales skyrocketed over the following years, and eventually earning gold certification. Fans were stunned by its speed and aggression. Nothing this fast had ever hit the mainstream. Critics, once wary of the band's extreme sound, eventually praised it as a groundbreaking record. Its influence and impact on heavy metal is immeasurable. Rain in Blood helped spawn death metal, pushed thrash metal to its limits, and became the standard for extreme music production. Taking the top spot is the album that redefined heavy metal forever, Master of Puppets. Metallica entered Sweet Silence Studios in September 1985, working for the second time with producer Flemming Rasmussen. Over 4 months, they poured every ounce of creativity into crafting a record that was heavier, deeper, and more sophisticated than anything they had made before. Released on March 3, 1986, Master of Puppets featured 8 monumental tracks. Master of Puppets, Battery, Welcome Home Sanitarium, and Orion became the album's highlights. Songs that blended power and melody with unmatched precision. Cliff Burton's influence echoed through the harmonies and arrangements, giving the album its musical depth. It would be the last Metallica album to feature Cliff Burton, released only months before his tragic passing in late September 1986. The record reached number 29 on the Billboard 200, and would later go 6 times platinum in the United States. Fans embraced it instantly, and critics hailed it as a masterpiece. Its impact cannot be overstated. Master of Puppets elevated thrash metal to an art form and set a new standard for heaviness and songwriting. Every generation of metal fans discovers this album and feels that same spark, the energy, the emotion, and the greatness. It remains one of the greatest heavy metal albums ever made, and the crown jewel of 1986. And there you have it, the top 10 heavy metal albums of 1986. Did your favorites make the list? Let us know in the comments below, and give us your top 10 metal albums of 1986. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to Metal Icons. It really helps the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.